Freedom to think for yourself, choose for yourself, speak for yourself, be and act yourself. That's independence. But however, ours is a dependent independence. Welcome to the month of October, the month of Nigerians' independence celebration. But hold on, are we truly independent? Anyway, let's celebrate. After all, don't we celebrate the fact that there's nothing to celebrate?
To the Nigerian national anthem, Mr. Albert Congo raises the flag of the new nation.
You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you. This one is dedicated to Nigeria as I play to you this national anthem. I must confess to you that I don't know it. The one I knew was the one that they taught us in primary school in those days. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our father's land. You know, that was the one that I can remember. Even the pledge. I think the pledge is also in two. But this was a national anthem that was sung the very first day that Nigeria gained independence. And that was the nation and the country that, you know, had so much aspiration to become great under the sun. Some of you may not accept that there was a time the naira was more valuable than the pound sterling, was stronger than the dollars. Yeah, it is true. Nigeria used to be that beautiful and a land filled with hope. And so, 3 days ago was Nigeria's Independence Day, and somebody sent me, or people sent me, Happy Independence Day, as in greetings. But I looked at it and I responded to one of them who actually probably will watch this video. And I said, we are not independent, but we need the real independence. You see, what form of independence is there when salary earners don't earn enough to feed their families? Take, for instance, this is the country where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira and a bag of rice is sold far much more than 30,000 naira. This is a country where a loaf of bread that can at least feed a family of 5 goes for about 1,100 naira. And so if, for instance, the family decides to take bread every night. 30,000 naira will not even be able to feed them only at night with loaves of bread, because 1,100, cannot go round for 30 days. So this is the kind of country we are in. This is a country where you don't have a right, even as a citizen. This is a country where foreigners, Indians, come from their country to establish factories and institutions, and they enslave even the citizens of the said country that is hosting them. This is that same country where you have impunity at the highest rate and the highest order. Now, this is the country where you cannot trust the government to do anything for you. And even though that they say that a people deserve the government that they have, because the people is actually the product of the system. Now, but do we actually blame the poor masses for what has become of this country? And so some of you may think I am stupid, I am foolish when I expressed to that my sister that I wished we never gained independence. I wished that the Britons are still the people leading this country. You know why? You would tell me that I'm having African slave mentality, but that is what you would call it. But I understand that if the Britons were still here, maybe some white men would have fancied my village as a very good place for them to come and stay, build their house and live in. And because of their presence, I'm so sure that the government at the central will give us things that are good. We'll have consistent and constant power supply. We'll have good roads. We'll have pipe-borne waters. I wouldn't have to generate power for myself. I wouldn't have to dig boreholes for myself in order to give my family water. And I wouldn't have to do a lot of things for myself. Sometimes the community will contribute money and buy a transformer. And then the government will be the ones to come and, bring bills for the masses to pay. If you don't pay, the power supply, the power holding companies send their agents to come and disconnect, you from the source of power. And sometimes they even go away with your cables. Now, this is the kind of country that we are in. And so I think I'm so right to say that if the Britons were still the ones in power, somebody would say they will carry the money to go and develop their country. Yes, you're right. But then even now that your brothers are the ones leading you, that is if you call them your brothers, are they not still stealing the same funds? Are they not still stealing the same money that was supposed to be used, to develop lives here, to make lives better here? Students have been at home for 7 good months, and those in power have their own children sent abroad because they can afford it. And they are weaponizing poverty so that you and I will remain under their clutches and their rulership. I wish that Nigeria never gained independence. How I so wish that the whites are still the ones ruling over us and governing us. At least the people like us wouldn't have so much, because by the grace of God, even now that it is too difficult, God has helped us and is helping us to survive. And so we wouldn't depend so much on whatever, but then this place would have been a better place. There will be roads, there will be electricity, there will be water, there will at least be security. How do you call this place a home? There's a video I will show you, but I just need to express myself. Yes, the whites would have taken some money here to go and develop their own land. But even now that they are no longer in power, are the people you call your leaders and they're doing worse things? They steal the country dry and they stash the money in banks overseas. And then you are here speaking. So many of them have had, their monies confiscated, taken away from them because they were caught and they entered into plea bargain, because they don't want to the whole thing to be exposed. And so many of them have died, even nobody could trace the money in the bank account. And the ones that they have, are kept there, these white countries, these European countries that you're still talking about, make use of them, loan it out and use it to develop their own countries. Now, the money that should have been used for the betterment of the place we call our nation. And Nigeria is becoming too hard for people to survive in. And you're telling me that we have independence? No. Let me tell you the true meaning of independence as I play this video for you. Then wait for me at the end of this video, please. I will share a story with you that will make you understand that indeed Nigeria needs salvation. Nigeria needs God's intervention. And I wish that the Nigeria that the founding fathers had in view will be a Nigerian that we will have in no distant time now. I still believe that the project called Nigeria would not be allowed by God to lie in ruin and waste like the old Babylon, because the prophecies have gone forth that a time would come when Nigeria will be so bad. And I do not know if there is, any worse situation that can be worse than this. This is a terrible moment. And I wish and I pray that God help us to get it right this time. So Nigerians, if you're celebrating independence, congratulations to you. But until we have true independence, I wished that the Britons had continued leading this land.
Freedom to think for yourself, choose for yourself, speak for yourself, be and act yourself. That's independence. But however, ours is a dependent independence. Welcome to the month of October, the month of Nigerians' independence celebration. But hold on, are we truly independent? Anyway, let's celebrate. After all, don't we celebrate the fact that there's nothing to celebrate as we consistently depend on one another, even as we depend on bribery over invoicing and budget padding to go by, yet we want to eradicate corruption. Our professionals like lawyers, judges, engineers, architects, medical doctors, civil servants, artisans, and even the everyday people depend on cutting corners rather than follow standard procedures, and yet religiously believe Nigeria will be successful. And they pick my teeth like Buhari. We depend on God to solve our basic infrastructural needs, yet believes God depend on us for his existence. I will fight you if you talk about my God like that. I feel sad. Our religious centers depend on the congregates' tithe and offering for their daily survival and successes, yet requires the same congregate to depend on God's grace and blessing for their daily bread. They tell you what God cannot do does not exist. Continue. A country where our government steal from those who depend on them for welfare, and those who are supposed to depend on government steal from one another for their own daily needs, where the politicians depend on the police for protections, while the police depend on harassment, bribery, and intimidation of the ordinary citizens they are supposed to protect for their own survival. And even the armed robbers depend on the police to supply guns for robbery. The custom and immigration guy at the point of entry would depend on bribe to do his job, as the security guard at the bank and the mall depend on begging to live a decent life. Oga, your boys are here. Where professors depend on government to solve the problem of their university, as students depend endlessly on the same professors for half-baked certificates to show that they are educated. Aren't we a nation of dependents? A country blessed by God with arable land and mineral resources, yet depend on foreign goods to show or announce their arrival. What a shame, and we're talking about independence. A land where the politicians hold our citizens in chain, yet depend on the same citizens to rig them back into office. Oh my sheo. The list is endless, just add yours. But I tell you, Nigerians are the ones destroying Nigeria. A man who was fired from his job for fraud would blame politicians and government for stealing. He forgets saying self-steal. A kidnapper who resigned from his job to go into kidnapping will go to church for Thanksgiving, and even as he blames politicians for embezzlement, but meanwhile, he's holding people at gunpoint. Even as the civil servants, the professors, professional lawyers, judges, and leaders collect bribe to compromise the processes, are also blaming government and politicians for the rot, but we forget that what we are doing is a rot. When in actual sense, we are all envious of the stealing and wants to replace the politician is doing the same. The armed robbers, fraudster, kidnappers, 419, criminal, also go join innocent people. They shout NSAS. These are the reasons why the country is consistently moving in negative. My advocacy today is simple. If you want to change Nigeria, just change the man in the mirror. And like Michael Jackson would say, God rest his soul, if you want to make Nigeria a better place, It's not just the politicians. Take a look at yourself and then make a change. That's our package talk for today. If you don't like our gods or you like our gods, just follow us on all our social media platforms shown on your screen and let us know how you feel. Nigeria is what we collectively make it. Happy independence.
And so before you cast your stones at me, may this not be your fate, and may no member of your family story be told like this. Olugbenga David Owolabi was buried yesterday, that is, in America. He was a Nigerian who migrated to America in his 20s. He came back to invest in Nigeria in his 50s. He started a farm and a hotel in Ogbomoso a few weeks after returning to Nigeria. He was kidnapped in his hotel together with a staff of his hotel who was out of school because of ASU strike. The kidnappers demanded millions as ransom and he paid, but the kidnappers ended up killing him and his staff. His family in USA blamed him for allowing his love for Nigeria to lead him to an early grave. His family refused to bury him in Nigeria. They flew his body back to America and buried him on Independence Day as a reminder that Nigeria is a killer of those who love her. Terrorism, insecurity, and kidnapping has no tribe or religion. As I try not to be political, as I try not to sound as if I am invading the murky waters of politics, but politics is about life. And so, think on this. And I wish that this will get to the wicked persons in power who think that life revolves around them. I wish that they understand that the day they will die, they will experience everything that they had done to humanity. They will reap what they have sown. And I speak this with utmost concern, and I'm very, very sad. This is a country that we all wish we could call a home. But no, it is not a home. Nigeria needs true independence. And until the people arise to take their country on their own, this may continue for a very long time. But like I expressed earlier on, I have hope and I have faith in God. And my children will not grow to meet the same anarchy and the same wickedness that I have seen all of my lifetime, in the name of Jesus Christ. Let me know what you think about this. And if you abuse me, I understand. You don't have understanding. You don't know what we're talking about. If only you know, then you will understand that this man has spoken out of pain. I will see you in the next video. Today, from me to you. Shalom.